Good morning, students. Let's start part 8 of this chapter with topic The Strange Case of Britain. Earlier you learned about unification of Germany and Italy. Now I will tell you about the unification of Britain. What was the process of unification of Britain? The main reason for its unification was the economic prosperity. You know that the Industrial Revolution first of all occurred in England. Due to Industrial Revolution, there was economic prosperity of the English nation. With help of trade and wealth, it succeeded in extending its influence over other nations of the islands. Here I show you. This was England, Scotland, Ireland. Because Industrial Revolution first of all occurred in England, so it gained economic prosperity. By taking advantage of that wealth and trade, it was able to have its control over the other parts of the islands, other nearby islands. So which was the first reason for the unification of Britain? Economic prosperity of England. Second reason was role of Parliament. Role of Parliament. The English Parliament, which had seized power from the monarchy in 1688 at the end of a protracted conflict, was the instrument through which a nation state with England at its center came to be forged. Yes, in 1688, in this part, the Parliament seized power from its ruler. At that time, the ruler was James II, who belonged to Catholic sect. In 1688, the Parliament seized power from its ruler, and in this way, a nation state with England at its center came to be forged. Then, the Act of Union 1707. By the Act of Union 1707, Scotland was incorporated in England. The Act of Union 1707 between England and Scotland that resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. That England was able to impose its influence on Scotland. After the Revolution of 1688, a nation state England at its center came to be forged. Then in 1707, there was Act signed between England and Scotland, which resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Then England got name United Kingdom of Great Britain. Because England was powerful, so it started to impose its influence on Scotland. The British Parliament was henceforth dominated by its English members. In British Parliament, there was majority of English members. The Catholic clans that inhabited the Scottish Highlands. Here, who inhabited in the Scottish Highlands, they suffered terribly whenever they attempted to assert their independence. The Scottish Highlanders were forbidden to speak their Gaelic language or wear their national dress, and large numbers were forcibly driven out of their homeland. By the Act of Union 1707, England and Scotland together came to be known as United Kingdom of Great Britain. But the British Parliament was dominated by Englishmen, so the Scottish people started to feel neglected. They were repressed whenever they made efforts to assert their independence. They were not allowed to speak their Gaelic language because they wanted that they should speak only English language. The Scottish Highlanders were also not allowed to wear their national dress, and many of them were forced to leave their homeland. After the Act of Union 1707, then the Act of Union the Act of Union 1801. By the Act of Union 1801, Ireland was incorporated in the United Kingdom of Great Britain. In the Act of 1707, Act of Union 1707, Scotland was added in England, and by Act of Union 1801, Ireland was incorporated in the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Yes, here you can see Ireland. In Ireland, there was majority of Catholics and minority of Protestants. But in the United Kingdom, there was majority of Protestants and minority of Catholics. The Protestants of United Kingdom helped to the Protestants of Ireland to have their influence over Catholics. Next, national symbols. National symbols. When Scotland was incorporated, later Ireland was incorporated, then a new British nation was forged through the propagation of a dominant English culture. To spread English culture, many new symbols like British flag, Union Jack, the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, the English language were actively promoted so that it could be promoted or used in Scotland as well as in Ireland, who were now part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. And the older nations survived only as subordinate partners in this union, and other nations, they survived only as subordinate partners in this union. Unification of Britain. Because economic prosperity. The Industrial Revolution helped in the economic prosperity of the English nation, which helped to have its control over the other nations of the islands. Here Scotland, here Ireland. Second, role of Parliament. Parliament played very important role in unification. Revolution was led by Parliament in 1688. That revolution is also known as the Glorious Revolution. By the Revolution of 1688, the power was taken away from King. At that time, King was James II, who belonged to the Catholic sect, and real power came in the hands of Parliament. Then Act of Union 1707. By this, English nation was united with Scotland, and by the Act of Union 1801, Ireland was incorporated in the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Later, through national symbols, the spirit of nationalism was developed among all the areas who became part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. These national symbols were British flag, Union Jack, national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, and the English language. All these were promoted in all the parts who were incorporated in the United Kingdom. Next, visualizing the nation. First, look at this keyword, allegory. When an abstract idea means to whom we can't see, we can only feel. When an abstract idea is expressed through a person or thing, that is known as allegory. When an abstract idea is expressed through a person or a thing. Artists in 18th and 19th centuries found a way out by personifying a nation. They represented countries as if they were a person. Nations were portrayed as a female figure, and the female figure which was chosen to personify the nation didn't stand for any particular women in real life. Rather, it sought to give the abstract idea of the nation as a concrete form. You know that during the French Revolution, artists used the female allegory to portray ideas such as liberty, justice, and the republic. These ideas were presented through symbols like red cap, broken chain, while justice was represented as a blindfolded woman carrying a pair of weighing scale. In same way, artists in 19th century represented the nation. France, she was christened Marianne, a popular Christian name which underlined the idea of people's nation. The French nation was represented as a female figure, and her characteristics were drawn from those of liberty and republic, the red cap, tricolor, the cockade. Statues of Marianne were erected in public squares to remind the public of the national symbol of unity and to persuade them to identify with it. Marian images were marked on coins and stamps. Artists thought that to instill the sense of nationalism among people, there was need to relate abstract idea with concrete form. So they started to represent nations as female figures. And French nation was represented as a female figure of christened Marianne. Her images were erected in the public spheres, even on coins and stamps, and her characteristics were drawn from those of liberty and the republic. Red cap, she used to wear red cap, having tricolor flag in hand. Cockade. Cockade means rosette worn in hat. Next, Germania. Germania became the allegory of German nation. Christian Marianne became the allegory of French nation, and Germania became the allegory of German nation. Here you can see through this female figure, German nation was represented. Here you can see this image. In this image, first of all, look at these broken chains. These broken chains signify being freed, means broken chain stands for the act of becoming free. Next, breastplate with eagle. It was the symbol of the German Empire's strength. Breastplate with eagle show the strength of the German Empire. Next, crown of oak leaves. It stands for heroism. Sword. In her hand there is a sword. It means German nation is ready to fight. But around this sword there are olive branches. These olive branches indicate that they are willing to make peace. Sword in hand show readiness to fight, but olive branches around this sword show that they were willing to make peace. Black, red and gold. Black, red and gold color tricolor flag. This flag was of the liberal nationalist in 1848, and in backside you can see rays of the rising sun. These rays stand for the beginning of a new era. These female figures were not just portrayed directly, actually they represented to act of becoming free, strength, heroism, willingness to make peace and starting of a new era. They were designed by the artist during 19th century. Yes, students, today you learned about unification of Britain through economic prosperity. Main role was played by Parliament, then Act of Union 1707, Act of Union 1801 and national symbols. Then you learned about images created by the artist to represent nations. French nation was represented with the figure of Marianne, while German nation was represented with figure of Germania. Students, history of nationalism in Britain was unlike the rest of Europe. Why was it unlike the rest of Europe? I told you that in 1688, Parliament took power from king. Power was transferred from monarchy to Parliament. There was a revolution, but the nationalism in Britain was unlike the rest of Europe. Means it was not the result of a quick upheaval or revolution. Great Britain was unified through a long process. Second point, different cultures. There were many ethnic groups, like in Scotland, there were Scottish, Ireland, Irish. In English nation, there were English and Welsh. There were many ethnic groups living in that part. Whereas in most of the other European countries, people belonging to same ethnic group were living. That's why unification of Britain was different from the rest of the countries, and in it the main role was played by Parliament. The main role was played by Parliament. It was in 1688 that Parliament seized power from the ruler, whereas in other European countries, kings or other national heroes played a major role. So we can say that the history of nationalism in Britain was unlike the rest of Europe. First is no revolution. There is second different cultures, and third role of Parliament. Thank you.